Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, a brand new week and a brand new chance to take 5 books of the Bible and try to reduce them down to about a 4-minute synopsis. So today, we've made it through all of the Old Testament, through the first 4 Gospels in the New Testament, and now we're at the book of Acts. Acts was written by the same fella that wrote the Gospel of Luke. And the two really ought to be read together. They're the longest books in the New Testament. And if you go back and write them out in Greek, they actually take a jumbo scroll. Scrolls, which is what these books were originally written on, scrolls came in lengths. And at some point, it just becomes impracticable to make a bigger scroll because you can't really roll and read and bind. So there was a maximum length generally of most scrolls. Luke takes up the maximum length. And so Acts, even though it's a second book, in a sense, it's just the part 2 of the same series. They're meant to be read together. And it's fun to do it because what happens when you read them together is you see an hourglass shape, where you've got the top big that funnels down into the small little throat that goes down into the bigger base. And you read that book of Acts and Luke together, and that's the way the crowds are with Jesus. It's really profound, but it leads you to what the book of Acts is about. In the Gospel of Luke, there are massive crowds around Jesus. He's real popular. But then over time, as people began to realize he had a tough message and an exacting message, and not just the best news for everybody to hear, the crowds start to filter away until at the end of the book of Luke, you've got Jesus basically alone on the cross. And after the resurrection, the exact opposite happens. The hourglass starts filling back out. And where it started out with lots of people and came down to Jesus alone on the cross, it becomes lots of people again. The book of Acts is that. It is the gospel, the good news of the death and resurrection of Christ being spread throughout the world, beyond just the realm of Judaism where it first sprung up. And that's the context of the book. It leads me to my favorite, or maybe most memorable verse out of Acts. It's better to say it that way. And that's Acts 1, verse 8, where before Jesus ascended into heaven, he told his followers that they'll receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon them, and that they would be his witnesses, not just in Jerusalem, but in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. And that's what happens. So in the book of Acts, you have Pentecost, where the Spirit's power is released among the church, and the disciples who were once fearful and hiding all of a sudden are transformed by the Holy Spirit, and it comes dramatically as they not only speak in tongues, but risk and ultimately some of them give their lives for the truth of the death and resurrection of Jesus. And then you see not just the apostles, but thousands start coming to faith as well. And then it's not just the Jews, but you see the Holy Spirit breaking down the barriers and moving into every culture and ethnicity and religious group. And so you've got Jews and you've got pagans, you've got Samaritans, you've got Gentiles, and all of them are coming to faith in Jesus, because Acts portrays that the government, the religious authorities, no one is able to stop the mission of God through his people and his church. And that's the statement of the book of Acts. And so I challenge you as you think about it, how do we align ourselves with God's mission so that we can be imbued not just with his power, but see his success in what he's about? Chew on it. It's a lesson from the book of Acts, and it's your video thought for today.